Good evening and welcome to Chasing Prophecy on FM 105.3 New Orleans, where we discuss anything and everything beyond the scope of normal. I'm Jenny Nicasio along with Sean Kelly, Jason Ian-Petro, Trisha Mo.
Hey, Trish.
Hey.
And it's going to be a good night tonight.
Happy Torture Tuesday.
And it's a full moon. I think it is. Tomorrow actually is. So I'm still sick, guys. I am still stuffy, and I do apologize. I don't know. I was just telling the guys. I thought I think I have COVID. No, because I could not taste or smell. And yeah, but I'm feeling a little bit better today. I took another Sudafed, so I'm hoping
you can always go get tested.
Well, you know what? I was going to do that, but I couldn't find anywhere around here. And
Med
well, it
Express.
doesn't matter.
Rite Aid.
Not
Rite Aid,
around
Med
here.
Express.
Yeah, nowhere around here. But I mean, other than that, I'm fine. I mean, I just sound nasally, and I don't like that. But no fever.
Well,
So that's good.
Just get better.
It's been 2 weeks. 2 weeks tomorrow. So yes, I'm going to try to be a good girl tonight and not fall asleep. I have two actually. I'm sipping both.
Two Coke Zeros.
I'm trying. The thing is, I don't like this new because I really can't taste.
Nah, the black
flavor.
can one was better.
Yes, definitely.
They changed the recipe a little bit. It's just not as.
Why did they have to change it?
They said it's more delicious and more like regular. It's just more fizzy. Honestly, like if you take a nice big swig, it just.
I can't drink that crap, man.
Well, I can drink it.
I can't drink anything like energy drinks or caffeine or anything around a full moon. I have a heart attack.
Well, yeah, that's basically what I'm doing too. Probably.
Well, I must be a walking immortal.
Well, actually, this full moon I'm not so crazy, so I don't know what's going on.
The aliens are coming.
They're coming to get you.
Well, I've been just trying not to listen to the news at all. I turn it off. I did tape Hannity tonight. I do have him on record, so I want to watch him, see what he has to say. But yeah, it's been kind of I don't know. We're still living in the twilight zone, so
yeah.
Hopefully
guess
soon.
what? I went to the gas pump today, and I put 12.8 gallons of gas in my car. $45.
Oh my God, that's ridiculous.
Want to hear something really depressing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I gotta give Philip the big rig, I usually put in 75 to 100 gallons of diesel.
Oh my God!
So if you can imagine the price tag on that.
Oh my Lord!
I wish I had just stocked up on gas during the shutdown. Just bought storage units or something of I don't know, how do you store gas? Big tanks?
I guess.
Back when it was under $1 per gallon last year.
Well, it's just I don't know. Well, I did go. I know that Sam's Club didn't have any toilet paper. I had to go to get it at the Dollar General. Do you believe it?
Oh, wow.
They didn't have. I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean,
there's a pumpkin shortage expected by November.
Really?
Well, they didn't have any pumpkin last year. I remember we could never find any cans.
I don't know. I think it's a big this year anyways. I mean, it could have to do with the crops, but I really think it's marketing,
Yeah, I think they just
create demand before the holiday and fear that we're going to run out of pumpkins and,
Well, if you're a big conspiracy theorist or enthusiast that I am, they've been planning this for months.
Yeah.
They've been telling you to stock up. You're not going to find nothing. And I think they just plan it. I really do. I think
But that's what happened with the toilet paper. So
I think they do it on purpose just to jackass us off. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But it's I don't know, but tonight should be an interesting show. We have let me pull up my little notes. We have Barry. I'm not really sure how you pronounced it. It looks like Albin.
Albin?
Yeah, I think
Albin.
that's it. Was born and he was a deep thinker, he said, and all his life he loved to sit and think. No, I can understand that. I think I still do that. But one of his most important things to him is to be able to get to the root of things. So we're going to get to a lot of root of things tonight and understand the most basic elements and his concepts, what he believes. And he's an expert on afterlife and consciousness. And so we're going to start tonight by we're going to get to know him a little bit and talk about his books and why he is such a afterlife enthusiast, and find out some cool. We're going to do some cool talking points, and I hope it will be an interesting evening. So without further ado, we're going to welcome Barry to the show. Good evening, Barry.
Hey, Barry.
Hey, Barry.
Hey.
Did I pronounce your name wrong, or did I kill it?
Well, you can say it in French, Aubin, or you can say it the English way, Aubin. It's fine.
And you're from Canada, right?
Yeah. But I spent 17 years in Seattle.
Oh, okay. Seattle. That's not too far from Canada, right? It's
British Columbia?
Yeah, British
just
Columbia.
over the hump. So, Barry, tell us a little bit about yourself. What kind of books you write, and how'd you get into this field?
Well, one day I had like an epiphany. It was like almost like a vision. And I know I had just broken up with a girlfriend, and I was crying because I wasn't man enough and I wasn't doing enough to be a dude. And so then all of a sudden I get this idea, and I couldn't let it go. I haven't let it go since. It's been 20 years. I've been writing ever since. And I just couldn't find the right way to end the book. I mean, it's the life story of what happened in my head. And
so what happened in your head, Barry?
Oh, well, first of all, I kind of realized telepathy exists, and nobody talks about it. So
Can we talk about? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Nobody talks about telepathy.
Okay, telepathy. Okay.
Well, we live in this world where everybody talks about it, telepathy, but nobody talks about it physically. So then I decided to write about it, and then mental illness came, and then I kept trying to figure out why I was mentally ill. And then I discovered there are people who do mind control that don't want you to talk about what's going on.
So do you think that happened to you, the mind control thing with some?
Oh, yeah, and I couldn't figure out for the life of me for the longest time what was going on, and then I figured it out. I mean, it's the Illuminati. It's
okay. Yeah, we're going to really get into that because I find it to be fascinating, and I think that's what's happening right now with all this control that they're doing now with not only the United States, Canada, Australia, huh, guys?
Yeah.
So what? Tell us what you think the Illuminati is, and how it could be using mind control right now.
Well, they are a group of people that got high up in IQ, like 4,000 IQ, and then they started cloning. So when they stick together as a group against a smaller group of people, they have a vectored number. And so what happened is you try to stop them, you try to control, defend yourself against them, and you can't. They just steamroll right over you because they have vectored numbers, and that much consciousness or electrical signal, zillions of people forcing you to do something control you. And for the longest time, humanity's been oppressed by this mind control, and we really got stuck in a world where everything got taken control of. Like, I mean, even they invented the casino. And the casino pays people to do bad things, and it's legitimized organized crime. And so when you go to the casino, you say, "I want to make money," and so they say, "We'll make a deal with you telepathically," and then they say, "Do this or this," and then you go leave the casino, you come back, and all of a sudden you do this bad thing. Then the magician works the cards, and all of a sudden you get paid all kinds of money, and there's no trace. And so it's all done telepathically and through mind control, and they oppress you. If you're a person of conscience, you're oppressed. If you're a bad person, you do bad things, and they clone you, and they let you be a part of their group.
So you think that the Illuminati, they're controlling the casinos?
The what?
They're controlling the casinos.
Casino. Oh yeah,
Mind
totally.
control.
Oh yeah, absolutely controlling the casinos. That's the whole purpose of the casino. It's a legitimized organized crime.
What do you
Now,
think
do you
about that?
think that's all the casinos? Or
I can't vouch. Sorry.
well, in Kansas, we have reservations owned by natives that have casinos that aren't owned by the government. We do have them, I think, on the Missouri side that are owned by the state. But I didn't know if you're referring to, just casinos as a whole, or just like the ones in Nevada type.
I can't speak to any specific casino, but I do know that that's the main function of the casino, is to do organized crime and get away with it and legitimize the money that you get from it, from doing the bad things. How are they going to say you did anything bad if the cards turn good and you got money? Then you can tax it with the government. The deeds are not written down anywhere. And then if you want to launder money, you bring in your drug money, and you lost the money, and then you did some few things, and then all of a sudden you won the money back, and it's on paper, it's legal money.
What do you think about that, Sean?
That's insane. That's insane. I'll be honest with you. I stay away from the casinos. I really do. Long time ago. Oh God, I'd be broke. But no, I used to go to the dog track and horse track, and I actually seen it with my own eyes how they, not mind control, but how they cheat. But for me, going to casino, that would be the worst thing in the world for me.
Sean, Jason.
I was just wondering, how did you come about getting all the insider info with the Illuminati and the casinos? Did you have like a connection or something, or?
I have what's called like a trucy. So like I can see the truth of things, and I told the truth my whole life, so I got good at it. But if you were to ask me something, I'd have to defer it for now. But what I'm saying is that I learned about all of the things in my head. Mm. I spent a lot of time in my head trying to figure out why I was being oppressed. Like I had rules on me when I was like, my main motive in my life was to be a good provider, a good husband, and a good father. Mm-hmm. And I can't. After I found out telepathy existed, then all of a sudden my world changed. And trying to write a book about it was chaos. I published many times, and I was always attacked all the time. And I published, and I never sold a single copy. Yet I was living this whole world inside my head, and I kept trying to talk about it, and nobody would let me talk about it. And they found out what my motive was to be a good provider, good husband, all that. Mm-hmm. And they prevented me from doing it because they don't want the truth of telepathy coming out. So
I believe you 100% about the Illuminati. Because my
there goes your mic.
That's a ghost.
See, yeah.
Trying to block me.
Careful.
Oh my God.
Dun, dun, dun.
Well, that's just not going to be fun. I'm going to have to hold it like the old times. Okay.
I
remind you of that Indian lady. She talks. She has this little tiny phone. And she goes, I want to tell you about this. I saw this crazy one. Okay, but she has this little tiny microphone that I'm holding my mic. No, I believe you 100% because when I was writing my book about it, well, in my book, I have Illuminati. They're calling the shots. And a lot of weird stuff happened to me when I was writing the book. So I always wondered, I was always afraid I was going to get a knock at the door, because every time you seem like you would think about them, something odd would happen. No, I totally believe you 100% when you're talking about how they're using mind control. I think they're doing. I think that's all there is right now is the mind control, especially with the new world order. And how do you feel about that? Do you think that's connected to them?
Oh yeah, every aspect of control the world is run through them, and they're not just on Earth; they are deep into space. So I came to hope, to fight them. Like I said, I got to have a wife and kids and be able to make a living. Mm-hmm. So I got to fight them. So I figured out ways to fight them, and I've been fighting them here ever since.
And do you think that they're in the political era in Canada too? Is the United States?
Every point of control on Earth.
And then they control the money and everything.
Everything. And they do it hiddenly. It's like you have you heard of the Freemasons? Have you heard of Rothschild? But what do? Nobody knows what they do. We all talk about it. We all mention it, but nobody says a word. Nobody does anything. They're not in the news. They're this powerful entity that nobody knows anything about.
Exactly. I know.
One question, Jenny, real quick. Like you, I'm directing this at you, Jen. And when you were writing your book, you said that that you felt like something was happening, with the mind. Mm-hmm. If you're the only one in your room and you're really not online, but you're just working and writing out your book, how can they mind control? I don't understand.
I don't know. There's something with the thought process. And I know, like we talked about before, I had a lot of my books stolen. And it seemed like could it be that they weren't stolen, that we were on the same wavelength, we had the same idea at the same particular it's
a collective consciousness. It's the same reason, which has been talked about before, how people in the same neighborhood have dreams, how people that's where the term, when you're talking to someone and you can finish their sentence and you're on the same wavelength, you're on the same frequency.
Well, isn't that the same thing as telepathy and how mind control?
Absolutely. So, and that's what I was going to say. So I'm going to play the devil's advocate because, I'm the witch of the group, and
you wicked witch.
So here's a few things. I used to work at a casino, and I was a dealer, and we were trained. We had to have a very high security clearance to watch for things like money laundering and things like that. People not changing over money at the tables to go change it into the cashier. All of those things. It's something they're very, very vigilant. Of course, does it happen? Yeah, people figure out the system and get just like a bank or anywhere else. I'm sure. But as far as like me, and this is what they always told me, it was, as far as me doing something bad and taking money from people, of course, I felt bad about that every day. But at the same time, they made the choice to come there. Now you can say somebody made them, somebody did this, but that's the same as any addiction. It's the same as I've also been a bartender. Did I make people go to the bar and drink? Absolutely not. Mm-hmm. Do I make people buy cigarettes? Anything can be that can be considered an addiction. And we were required to tell people if we thought they did have a problem, we would give them the gambling anonymous number, things like that. So, and I can 100% say that even I don't personally gamble myself, just because that's not I don't judge people for it. It's just not my preference for entertainment.
Yeah, I can't see it either. Wasting money, throwing money away, unless you're really lucky and you hit the big one and know how to stop.
So did the people really go to the casino on their own will, or was it a type of mind control for people that might be weak?
Well, and that's what I'm saying. You can blame cigarette ads, for people smoking. You can blame commercials for people drinking. You can blame there's always going to be a marketing ploy to eat chocolate or
anything. Definitely.
Really. There's always marketing involved in the world and doing things. So yes, does that drive sales and drive people? Do they have promotions and stuff to get them there? Of course.
Oh, but wow. Yeah.
That is still a choice. That's
like, I was watching Dexter. Okay. And the last few episodes, he was eating steak. I actually had steak last night because I could not get it. Because that's just mind control.
Whoa.
Yeah, I had steak.
Whoa. Then I'm Dexter every day, and I never watched the damn
show. Yeah, he was eating like steak. It seems like there was 2 episodes they were having steak, and I said, "Oh my god, I'm so fucking hungry."
Was it like ribeye, or was it like
it was a ribeye. It was a good. Yeah.
How'd you cook it?
Just like he did, on top of the frying pan on top of the stove. But that's true. See, Trisha and Barry, you're correct. Being that's just another form of mind control. Commercials do it all day. I mean,
it's
all night.
Suggestive marketing.
Pizza commercials. I had pizza Saturday.
As far as telepathy and the collective consciousness, I 100% believe in that, because there's been times, if you get enough people to fear something, to believe in something, even religious groups, it was during Lent. I was like, why, I'm not Catholic. Why am I was automatically like giving things up and eating fish on Fridays. But if you think about it and you're sensitive to those things, and there's millions of people doing it, that might be, you might be doing those things subconsciously without even knowing it.
Yeah.
Because everybody else is at the time. And so that's one of my things, you have to be able to discern as far as mind control. And there have been proven government projects and things that did control people's
they're doing that right now with the vaccine. They're scaring people with mind control. And
so
you don't
whatever
get your vaccine.
you get power to is what the universe will give you more of. So if you're negative, you'll get more. If you live in lack, you're gonna keep losing money if you keep going to the casino. They call it beginner's luck. When people start going there and automatically win, right? That happens to everyone because they don't have a fear of losing yet. They haven't been down that road,
And every time I went, I lost $60 in about 2 seconds, and I walked out.
So Barry, what have you seen recently that might be Illuminati controlling or using some kind of a MK Ultra scenario?
What I've seen it most of my life, and lately I've been fighting this fight, and I came to Hope to fight them. I mean, I see spaceships land, and then I see them like they got technology that they can pass through walls, and they got technology that they can come to my house, and then they try to murder me.
They tried to murder you
all the time.
So we'll give us an example of what happened.
How'd you fight them off?
I figured out conscience is the way to take them down, and you never fight them physically, like it's mind to mind combat. And like I extend my arm with my right hand, and with my aura of my right hand, and I put it in their head. And when I put it in their head, my conscience, in the presence of their lack of it, they pop and die. And I hear a pop, and then the person that died, the corporeal being that was projecting himself onto me through telepathy, is no longer alive, and they die. And so after a giant war I went through, it was a massive war.
When you say they popped, they died, how do you know that? You mean you just heard a sound and they died? I mean, did you actually see
telepathic sound? I hear a pop.
You just hear a pop. You don't actually see them die.
I don't physically see them, no. But it's a battle in the spiritual realm, and every single person that I killed, like in self-defense, because they were murderers, they never came back, and so it was like a relentless barrage of Illuminati coming after me all the time.
So what do they look like? They look like human beings, or
they're white? They're mostly white people, Caucasian, and you see the same person over and over again because there's like zillions of clones of the same guy. And like there's a guy named Colin and there's a guy named Terry, and like they were murderous cannibals and they're psychopathic and they possess all the traits of a psychopath. Like they lie, they believe they're above everybody else. The rules don't apply to them. The little people, everybody's the little people, and they're like above, and chronic liars, and they can convince you of all kinds of things, and they'll tell you what you want to hear. And they're mostly Caucasian white people.
And do they take the form of a human being, or are they just like something in your mind? I mean, do you actually see these people? Like, do they come to your work and they seek you out? They come knocking on your door, or is this something like you see, like spiritual, like a dream state scenario?
Well, I dissected the science of what the spiritual realm is and what the physical realm is, right? Like, but they're physical, corporeal beings that project their electrical self, like the consciousness is electrical, so they send an electrical signal of their spiritual self. That their spiritual is electrical. It's an electrical signal, so they project it onto you into your mind, in which your mind understands because your mind's electrical, so to interpret the electrical signal.
Now, do you feel that these beings are? See, now I always thought they were actual people and they were sort of like the Men in Black. Do you feel like these beings are sort of something connected to like the Antichrist?
Oh man, I was gonna say Barry just described like all my ex-boyfriends.
No, they're definitely like, I don't know.
I just feel like there's this organization like connected to the Antichrist, like something like Damien or the Omen, that they're connected. These are these powerful people that are like, they're like a subhuman. You know what I mean? Like they're human, but they're connected to something on a higher level of consciousness. But they're deceitful and they're trying, like, they're connected to the New World Order and they're connected to the I feel that they would be connected. You don't feel that they're connected to the Antichrist at all?
I don't understand what you mean by Antichrist.
Well, I mean connected because when you're watching these like these secret underground like sort of like Eyes Wide Shut. Do you remember that movie with Tom Cruise? I think it was. And there's just like this secret underground and these high powerful people. Like some of the conspiracy theorists are saying that some of these, people in government, that they actually go underground and they're worshiping, they're Satanists, and they drink the blood of children. These luminary people. You don't feel that?
If Christ were good, right, then I'd say, yeah, they're definitely part of the Antichrist and they're evil. Mm-hmm. But lately, I've been studying Christianity, and I'm.
Well, I'm not saying the Christians are like that. These are the other people.
I'm wondering if Christian is actually evil, because I'm wondering about it, because they say born again Christian. What does that mean?
Well, I think you have to be reborn to, I don't know.
What, reborn as a clone?
Well, when you're baptized, when a child is born, they said they're carrying the original sin of Adam and Eve, and they will be evil if they do not get baptized, and that's why you're supposed to get your baby baptized as soon as possible after you have a baby, because you have that you inherited that first original sin from Adam and Eve, and that's why you're.
I don't know. It's like
claims has a claim on you.
You're a sinner, and you have to believe you're a sinner, and then you agree that you're a sinner, and then you are a sinner, and then you agree forgiveness of sin happens no matter what.
I don't know. I just know that when you are born, you have the original sin from Adam and Eve, and you are by rights. Satan has a claim on you until you get baptized, and that's.
I never heard that before.
So have often, I was baptized years ago, but I also thought if something wanted to have control over us, then by being baptized or by being certain religions or by being Christian or anything like that, you're giving whoever it is that you believe in permission. You're saying, power. Take my life, take this. So even though Earth is, technically a planet of free will, that would be the greatest plan of
definitely
another planet, gods, whoever, to control humans, because by creating these religions that people are giving power to and giving permission, saying, take my life, take this, there you go. That's a contract,
Same with vampires. You have to invite them in.
Absolutely. So if by baptizing a baby or things like that, are we?
I think
moving the threat, or are you oppressing them even further?
I don't know. I just feel that you should definitely get your babies baptized as soon as you can, but that's everybody's personal choice. I don't know. I was just wondering if it was the same Illuminatis as the powerful entities, and I always thought I picture them in some kind of deep underground, worshiping, doing sick things, and feeding off of each other for power. And the more that you feed off other people, the more powerful you are. No, it's like sucking the breath out of there was a movie.
We have a comment from our people, from Jules. It's a born again in spirit, meaning to put all your bad habits behind you.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
That's yeah.
Well, that depends on how. I know, like Christians, a lot of them are, the real Christian, the new wave. I don't know what you want to call it. That they feel that you have to be reborn.
Hey Barry, why do you think the Illuminati is just after you? But or
everybody.
What I mean, it's real hard for me to understand because. If the Illuminati is after you and you're killing them in self-defense, okay. It's real hard for me to conceive that because to me it sounds like, now no pun intended, but the aliens, mind controlling us. Now could the Illuminati, do you think maybe it might the aliens are saying, okay, I'm Illuminati, but they're actually aliens messing with your brain?
Well, I would suppose there's a possibility that people can mimic the Illuminati, but
right?
I have not seen that.
Okay. Let me explain something to you real quick. Let me explain something to you. Okay. And sorry for interrupting you, but I've been in the spiritual field for over 30 years. I've been ghost hunting for over 30 years, and I have dealt with everything. And it's real easy. And I've seen people get manipulated by other beings that are not what they're claiming to be, and they're usually bad. So I'm just saying, be careful if you think, because you don't know if it's Satan, you don't know if it's an alien or whatever. It's just until you really understand and know who's there, then just be careful. That's all I'm telling you. Be careful when you're at the books.
So I have a question. I was just curious, what kind of role do you think that the Illuminati is playing in our government currently? Like, do you believe they're on one side or the other?
I believe mostly on the right.
Mostly on the right.
The top 5% of the left. The top 5% of the left participate in cloning and helping people clone and have the intellect to clone people. And if you're an Illuminati person, you end up on the right, and 45% of the right is Illuminati.
All right. I was curious when you were talking about the projections and killing these beings in self-defense. Does that have any effect on the body that projection is attached to? do you know of?
Say that again, please.
Like you're talking about having the projections that are trying to attack you and you kill them in self-defense. Yeah. Now those projections are coming from somewhere, which would be a body. Is there any repercussions on that body?
Yeah.
When you self-defense, like, does it die?
Yes.
Interesting.
That is interesting.
And if I would die if I didn't defend myself.
So do you think these are actual like humans that are astral projecting, or do you think it's interdimensional beings? And how do you discern?
Okay, astral, the projection, I don't know what that is. It's telepathic projection, astral, is that what you mean?
Yes, it's when, like, say I could project my body from my house here to your living room and try to attack you or something.
Yeah, okay, so astral is mostly what they do, but interdimensional, if they were in a different dimension, they'd be doing it.
Right.
But what I'm saying is the Illuminati is that big. I mean, they cloned themselves in the zillions. I estimate 1.98 times 1,000 zillion, how many people they are. And they got to an IQ of 4,000 and they figured out cloning, then they cloned themselves profusely, and they were dominant after that. And no number smaller than them could take them on. They just get oppressed. So the reason they're able to survive is they have huge numbers. It's like gang warfare. The gang attacks in numbers, and right, that's the same thing.
Now, do you think they're actually cloning people, or just kind of convincing? It's like people joining, going for different sports teams or being fans of certain. Do you think they're convincing, through mind control or manipulation, but to recruiting people that are still, that aren't clones, that are just going to their side more, or if it's actually, replicas of the same? Because when I think of clones, I think of like the same person being, reproduced, I guess, replicated over and over. But as far as, I think we all have the propensity to be good or evil based on a lot of, people change too. You could have the nicest person that just snaps one day and all of a sudden they're, mass murderer for that matter. So
free will is always there.
Absolutely.
So
has there ever been like any type of like law enforcement involvement since these people or beings or bodies would end up dying and there's so many of them? Like, has there been any investigations on any of that?
The way I understand it is I wrote 19,000 emails to the government. I wrote 19,000 emails to the police, everything. Every government agency you could think of. I spent the time. I did the legal work. I said, look, I'm attacked. I have problems. I need to get this solved. Their answer to me every time was go to the psych ward. And they put me in there if I was pushy enough. And it never solved my problem. So then I decided, okay, if I'm going to do this, I need to combat them on my own and do it legally where I wouldn't get in trouble. So everything I do is I follow the law exactly. Self-defense against those people that are in the act of murdering whom have intent to murder people. I make a telepathic link with them or astral projection to them, and I deliver conscience. And when they die, you know what? Conscience is not going to kill a normal person, a good person. So it's a foolproof plan to defend myself.
How do you find these people exactly? Like, how do you know it's this guy or that guy or Tim over here, Paul over there? Like, is there like some special aura, or because when you project yourself out to them, Like, how do you know who to go to off the bat?
If I make a telepathic link with the Illuminati, or say a certain character in the Illuminati, like Colin or Terry, or like I know some of their names, and I make a telepathic link with them, then I apply conscious to it, and I go through the zillions of clones that die, then I eventually end up where they're reduced. And as far as I can see, the war is over. I mean, I fought that much that long, and when you combat them long enough, they're in your head all the time. You know, they want you gone. And I'd wake up in the middle of the night and have to defend myself all the time. So, you know, I'd stay on them all day long, and I'd take chunks of what they were. I wouldn't take the whole thing at once.
Does your family know about this?
Yeah.
And what do they have to say?
Did they get attacked at all?
What's that?
Did they try to attack your family as well, or did they just pinpoint
I defend
you?
my mom. I defend my mom all the time, but she's not the kind of person that talks about any of this or asks for help.
Psychic attacks is very real, and very, you know, people aren't aware of how dangerous it can be. And I agree that I think there's not enough information out there about it, especially when it comes to mental health and things like that, because a lot of people who are 100% sane can experience psychic attacks, not just from the Illuminati, but from other people, from negative situations, things like that. And they don't even realize it. They just think they're going crazy, or they think, you know, something's wrong with them, or those aren't their thoughts. And they actually aren't their thoughts. But because this hasn't been, you know, it's a newer subject that wasn't talked about for thousands of years, that and was so taboo in the past. You know, it's just coming to the surface more recently. So I think that if more people knew how to protect themselves against such attacks from, you know, whoever, it could be bullies at school, or, you know, coworkers, or the Illuminati for that matter. They can all be, a lot of that could probably
just think of your conscience when you were under it.
Absolutely.
Think of it, and I followed the 10 Commandments. Don't lie, don't murder, don't steal, don't rape, don't cheat. Don't do the bad things. And then your conscience gets really good, and it's like a shield. It's like, and it's, I wouldn't say the conscience is a weapon. I would say it's more like if you come across someone that's past the point of no return, where they've made so many evil choices in their life that they think one positive thing, they pop and die. The non-reformable, people that are past the point of no return in their brain. So when you in the presence of conscience, they pop and die. And I'm not being murderous. This person was going to die anyway from their own evil and their own guilt. And I find that the people that are not reformable, they only do bad things, because if they did one good thing, they'd die. So these people are incredibly dangerous.
But do you think, I think it was in Batman, you know, the quote, what was it? If you kill a killer, there's still, how does it go? There's still one more killer left in the world, or something. Meaning, you know, once you, because even you said it's a world of free will. So everyone has the ability to change their ways, technically. Which I'm not saying I agree with murder or anything like that, but you know, an eye for an eye and the world will go blind, as they say. So I guess where do you stand on that?
Well, murder and killing are two separate things. You're totally different. The word means two different things. Killing in self-defense is not an evil act. So, but murdering just for the sake of murder to kill and have evil mindset about it, like if a good person kills a bad person that is going to kill no matter what, you're saving all those innocent lives that murderer was always going to be hell-bent on going down the path to hurt. So you're saving innocent lives, and that's a major thing. That's a good act.
But in a comment, it says from Augie, if you kill a killer, the number of killers in the world remains the same.
That's it. That's the quote.
Oh.
Which kind of makes sense because if you killed a killer, you just killed somebody, so you're a killer.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, and I was thinking of, I don't know, Deadpool also. I think it's the second one. I don't know if y'all have seen that, but there's, the bully in the orphanage that was probably going to kill a lot of people until he had one friend who was nice to him. So,
if I could reform them, I would have. I spent 17 or 19 years trying everything in the book, and it's like I tried everything. I said everything in the book, and the answer was no. They were going to be evil no matter what. And while I was killing Terry, he came with me, one of his clones, and he was a cannibal. He says, Barry, look, I can't reform. I said, why not? He says, I literally can't do it. So he thought one positive thought, and he exploded. Like cannibals explode because they lose cohesion from the people they ate that don't want to be a part of them anymore. So he exploded, and I said, okay. And then I killed the other one because I realized that when you do enough evil stuff, that the food you eat from the tree, the plant, the cow, whatever, they form part of your body, the electrons in your body. And if you do enough evil stuff, they don't want to be a part of you anymore. And so the electrons are in your body feels really bad, and it wants to go somewhere else. So if you eat enough people, like cannibalizing, then your body, the people that you ate don't want to be a part of your body anymore. So if in the presence of conscience of something good, you lose cohesion and you die and you explode. It's disgusting. But Terry Hart was telling me, I can't reform. He was showing me, he demonstrated me, he couldn't do it because he thought one positive thing, boom, he exploded. So then I already knew they were going down the path that they were going to die no matter what. And the only way to reach their soul and reform them is in the electronic and their spiritual, once they're a soul. Because what happens is the neurons in the brain cephalize a certain way. And the neurons change and they become neuralized towards certain behaviors. You memorize certain behaviors and you act a certain way because your neurons are formed that way. Well, if you did evil things your whole life, your whole brain is formed to be evil. And if you choose something good, you die. And that's what I'm dealing with, is non-reformable people. So I
think that's the kind of whole death and rebirth in life, though, because I have known people, a lot of people, who have done really bad things and went through an entire spiritual awakening, or maybe it took something really bad happening and they went through this awakening and completely changed their life, completely went from being, like negative to positive or evil to good, if you will. So I'm not saying they can all be reformed, but for the most part,
the reform either in death or in life. And the best thing I could do is supply them conscience. And it's a teaching thing. If they're past the point of return that they die, then they'll be reached in death, and their soul will reform because they're more reachable as an electronic being. And then they can come back to life, maybe come back as come back later once they've made amends for all the bad things they've done.
And I think it was you, Jason, that asked how how he finds these people. I know as far as I go and telepathic abilities or being empathic, and even at the casino, you know, there were a lot. That's a toxic environment as it is, because it's gambling and drinking and things like that. But in any environment, I know with myself, I can be in the presence of someone who's done really bad things, or even touch them, like shake their hand. And that's when I see something really bad that they've done, if they've, you know, abused someone or hurt someone in any way. But I think it's because that's part of their shame. So that's what comes through when I meet them or when I'm in their presence. And it has to be because bad things like that hold a lot of energy, just like really good things hold a lot of energy. So I think that's something too. That's probably how you.
How I find them is I drive for something. I drive for a motive. I drive for publishing. I drive for bringing the truth out in the open. I drive because I feel if I can explain who I am, then people are going to know who I am, and then this whole oppression of the Illuminati will end, and I'll have the life I want. So because I keep driving, what happens is when you talk about telepathy, it's like all these bad things they did, their spidey senses tingle and they say, I'm going to get caught.
Yeah.
They don't want to get caught.
It's their guilt and shame and fear and everything else.
Then they come after me. So I'm not really looking for them. I'm just driving to bring the truth out. And then by driving the truth out, I'm like the biggest magnet of all time.
Well, we've talked about that with spirits as well. You know, it's like once you notice them, they notice you. So it's the same concept, you know. It's like one person being able to see or speak to them out of, you know, thousands of people. They're going to be drawn to that. So it can get dangerous.
Yeah.
Hey, Barry, I want to know, how do you know for sure that they're the Illuminati? Because, you know, the Illuminati were a secret society, but the people or beings that you're talking about, they seem more like interdimensional beings or alien in nature. They don't seem like they're like a civilized, intelligent, highly developed society.
In my experience, they were on Earth. So I tackled the problem on Earth. And then they were coming from space all the time. So then I tackled the people coming from space all the time. And then I'm in touch with the rocks and stuff, right? And there's diamonds that know a lot about space and stuff. And they'd help me target, you know, deeper space.
Are there other people like you that you team up with against the Illuminati, or are you like a solo mission?
I'm the vector guy. I'm the vector guy, so it's a lonely job.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Kind of like a Green Beret, kind of sneaking there by yourself.
Like the lone wolf, right?
If I noticed, like if I try to have friends in my life, the people stay away from me because what I'm doing is just too dangerous. People don't want to talk to me.
So what going forward, like in our future, what do you foresee the Illuminati having, you know, down the road for it, like in store for us, you know, compared to what's going on now? Is it just going to get worse? Is they going to get more powerful? Like, do you see anything in our generation's future, you know, to watch out for?
I've been fighting the Illuminati for 5 years. And the nature of vectored evil is going to be a constant throughout our lives. Back to your question about other aliens. There's lots of other aliens. There's aliens galore. I see aliens just probably every day. And I talk to them telepathically because they reach me through the electrical, you know, the electrical signals in my mind. And I'm in the spot on the earth where it's you know, the time in the spring happens here, so they focus on this spot the most. But in the future, the choice, the free will to do bad things is always there. And the idea that we can team up as bad people to take over a small group of people or an individual is always going to be there. It's a constant in the universe. The choice to do evil will always be there. So for the Illuminati, I mean, I've been at war with them for 5 years, and I would have to say they are largely done. But it's like when you're that vectored in the zillions, some of them come back to life. So I'm constantly monitoring the ones that come back to life, and I take them down until their soul goes into a black hole. And there's a way to do that. You make a telepathic link with the souls of the Illuminati, and you position yourself near a black hole, and the negative charge of their souls goes to the positive charge of the black hole. And people have been doing this for quite a while. I mean, we've been doing this for the last year or so, I would say.
So, since you have a vast array of knowledge on the Illuminati, do you ever fear that some people are actually going to like show up at your house and, try and harm you? Because if you have all this information and, you got to kind of keep eyes on the back of your head kind of thing.
All the time. Every segment of government, every segment of, the police, it's all been corrupted. The Illuminati figured out they can corrupt anything, and they can corrupt the person down the street. If you're an avid casino goer and you make money, and you're into cloning, well, you've been doing this for a while, and there's a lot of people that could come and get you, and the point is always stay illegal, because it's like if you do one thing illegal, you're done. But yet they can do every bad thing in the book, and they're going to get away with it. And that's the nature of the game is being squeaky clean. Never do anything illegal ever. And self-defense is not illegal and never will be. And me providing conscience to those without it is never going to be a bad thing.
Barry, you said that you know exactly what ghosts are.
I do.
Okay, and you can scientifically explain it. Go ahead and try to explain it to me.
When a physical body dies, there is electrons all throughout our body. There's our consciousness, the electrons in our brain. When we die, the decomposing body is sitting there emanating electrical signals. And the electrical signals that you're getting is the ghost. Now you can see it as a manifestation in your mind, this aura of some entity coming towards you, speaking to you, communicating, and it may be disjointed because the person's dead, but their consciousness still is there. And until that body completely decomposes and either the electrons disperse and go to heaven or disperse and go to hell, a black hole, the center of a planet or whatever, then the ghost will persist. So if you want ghosts to go away fast, make sure the body decomposes quicker.
What do you feel about that, Jason?
Well, we've encountered spirits from Victorian era, and just super old. I'm pretty sure their bodies have decomposed by now. Why would they still be here?
Right. Well, their electrons are still kicking around somehow.
Oh, wow.
Everything goes back into the earth, though. Even if you're cremated, it has to go somewhere. And energy never disperses. So
I heard a woman the other day, like this morning, like that I was sure was dead for a long time. And she contacted me and said something she would normally say, but it was electrical signal from a black hole. The black hole the souls in the black hole still communicate with you from time to time.
Now, can I ask you something? When you're talking about this black hole, I'm sure our viewers are curious too. How can you describe this black hole? Because when you say a black hole, everybody's first thought is probably outer space. A black hole just sucks in stars and implodes everything.
Yeah.
You know, like, are we talking about like the same kind of black hole?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like a space black hole.
Correct. Any planetary mass. And basically, a black hole is just a collection of planetary masses that is super large.
Well, Barry, since we talked about the ghosts and we talked about the Illuminati, what about, you said that you also have contact with aliens and almost in a daily routine that you talk to aliens.
Yeah.
Now, are they like, they come to you like in physical form, or are they still talking to you telepathically?
I've seen leprechauns. I've seen
leprechauns.
Yeah.
Did you find a pot of gold?
But they were devious little boogers. They seem nice at first, but they really aren't.
Well, I believe that there are leprechauns.
I've seen that movie, Leprechaun.
Yeah.
I'm gonna mess with them.
They're like little evil.
They're not evil at all. Come on.
I was watching Halloween Town. I don't know if any of you have seen that. It's I think it's a Disney movie. And it's appropriate for children. And all these monsters from Halloween Town, you know, they've got a leprechaun and a werewolf and a troll and an ogre and all these different cryptids go from their dimension to school with humans for a day or whatever, wearing a skin, like a suit, dressed like a human. Mm-hmm. So it's like, instead of humans dressing like monsters and animals, they dress like humans for the day and went to school to try to interact peacefully with the humans. And that's kind of what it reminds me of. Because I believe you. I mean, I am the same way. You know, I believe in cryptids and have seen many in my life as far as different beings. But that's a very informative movie if you ever get a chance to watch it and pay attention to the little messages in that movie.
Yeah.
Halloween Town. I'll have
So
to check it
Barry,
out.
with the with having all the encounters with aliens on like a daily, we've had discussions in the past about a lot of times when there's alien sightings and everything, a lot of people find Bigfoot or, you know, claims of seeing Bigfoot at the same time, thinking he's interdimensional. Mm-hmm. Have you ever experienced anything, you know, Bigfoot related since you're dealing with aliens?
Yeah, I did. About 5 years back when I came to Hope the first time. But it was vectored spiders.
Never heard of them before.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, I know. I did. Nobody's heard that before. But all I know is lots of spiders were watching me, and they didn't like that I was there. They wanted to chase me out of there. And if enough spiders use a collective mind and make a telepathic being, and there's enough spiders that they start to become physical, then. But if you look at the bottom of snowman and you look at the head, it kind of looks spiderish in a way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when all this talk really makes me think about Carnation. Carnation, like, start. Actually, it does. It makes me hungry for this, and because not only is it has essential vitamins and minerals, it's delicious. So if you can start your morning with breakfast essentials, or it's that pumpkin pie time of year, get some Carnation evaporated milk and make yourself some pumpkin pie. Ooh. And I want to thank Carnation for sponsoring this hour.
Thank you, Carnation.
Thank you.
And Barry, another thing is, you claim, you said that Canada is very, has spooky places, and aliens are drawn to BC, Canada. Why do you think that is?
It has to do with the geology. It has to do with the rocks.
The rocks?
Yeah. Crystals,
diamonds, gems, you name it. And the time of the spring happens here throughout the world. So if an alien wants to terraform our planet to their needs, they need to get control of this place. So they know about this stuff. So that, and it's like humans never talk about it, but it's like they want control of this place, and once they have it, then they can start to change the life pattern of the planet.
Do you think that will happen, Barry?
No, that's what I'm here for. I'm fighting that crap.
Okay.
Yeah. So the aliens that come to Canada, I'm just curious, do they like fries with gravy? That's a big Canadian thing, right?
That's a Pittsburgh thing, man. That's
well, isn't the X-Files a Canadian thing
that's
too?
That's a Pittsburgh thing.
Or is that just the didn't they film X-Files in Canada?
I'm not sure. They might have. We have a big film industry here. Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah.
I just
interesting. This is really interesting.
On a headstone the other day, which made me think of the X-Files. So probably
that was a good show. I was really disappointed that they took it off. You know what I mean? Whatever happened to that one guy that was really bad? He always smoked the cigarettes. What happened to him? Did he die?
He got lung cancer.
Didn't he? He died.
Did he die?
Yeah, lung cancer. Cigarette man. Yeah, he died from cancer on the show, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know what I was going to say. So Samhain is coming up, that pagans celebrate, which is Christians converted to Halloween or All Hallows Eve. But an interesting thing, Barry, that you said, when it originated with the Celts, and in Ireland, there were around Halloween, or Samhain, as we call it, there was 3 days where they would create holiday thrones for the military commanding officers, basically, and any of the soldiers who committed a crime or used their weapons were automatically sentenced to death during that time.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
Yeah,
that is wow. But I don't know. Barry, your story sounds good, brother. I mean, I got to give you that. There's some things that I totally disagree with you. All right, and I'm not being an ass or nothing like that. I'm just telling you from my perspective. And whatever you believe in, I respect that, but just please respect what I believe in. And I'm really having a hard time understanding you.
What are you having a hard time understanding? I mean, he talks to these luminaries. I mean, hey, if they want to talk to me, I'll talk back, but I don't think they will.
I don't want to, I mean, it's just that you were saying zillions and trillions of them out there. I mean,
it's a secret society, Sean.
I know that, but they're alive like us.
The Illuminati's, I believe that they originated in Bavaria, in the 1700s. I'm not really sure. Do you recall any of that, Barry? When they came, I believe it was back. I mean, this is a secret society. Let me make sure I have. Let me see. I'm pretty sure it was the 1700s. Let me see. Bavarian Illuminati is a secret society that operated far only to a decade from 1776 until 1785. The organization was formed by Adam Weishaupt, a German law professor who believed strongly in the Enlightenment ideals, and his Illuminarian sought to promote those ideas among the elite. That's why I said there is an elite society. I think there's. I mean, Barry, I think you said yours. People who contact you are more of on a telepathy. Now, I believe there is a secret society. They're elite. They're very rich and powerful men and women. And it's a secret society that's actually a shadow government, and they're working right now within the government, and that's why the government is so freaking corrupt. Now, that's what I think Illuminatis are, and they're trying to start a real. They're trying to create a new world order, like Alex Jones believes.
Yeah, back in WCW days.
Yeah, I mean, it just no. See, to me, the Illuminati, they're alive, and like Jenny said, they are in the government, and they are running the government, and
that's what I think. I think they're really actually people, and they're really elite, and they do probably drink the blood of babies.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I
don't
do.
think so. No.
And they have that little hand thing that they call.
When you've been around 1,000 years, you begin a little weird.
No, seriously, I think they're
vampires.
They're
you could
alive and well.
That's just like, what is it up in Harvard? The Skull and Bones? That club is at Harvard. It's an Ivy League school where all
I think all those Ivy League schools, Sean, are into that crap.
There's always going to be, in my opinion, there's always duality in the world and everything. There's going to be your groups like the Illuminati and the skulls and cults and things like that, and then and terrorist groups. But then there's also going to be the good to fight those. Yeah. Now, obviously, maybe the good's kind of better at not, they don't have to form clubs or secret societies, or maybe they do and nobody knows about it. You just don't hear about it, which would make sense because it's usually, after studying serial killers and things like that.
Oh yeah, like
eventually
Dexter.
People like that living in a negative vibration have huge pride and ego personalities, and they want people to know what they've done because it's a power thing. It's a power trip. Whereas the people in the higher vibrations do it because it's sort of a calling or it's or for themselves or just to be a better person. It's like people donating to a charity anonymously without anybody having to see them do it just because they're a good person. It's so I believe there's good out there too. I believe there's groups of good out there for that matter. Because you are. So maybe all these groups, it's just a bunch of bad people coming together because that's what they are.
And they like to be known. They want to see, like
I said, and that's living in their ego and their pride and everything else. And so, because eventually it gets boring. If nobody ever knows that they're doing all these bad things, then
what's the point of doing it? And that's why you shouldn't give.
So what about the group Anonymous?
Oh yeah, well they like.
So you got like Illuminati, and then you got the Anonymous group. They have they're capable of a lot of different things.
Oh yeah,
it's just, who knows? Maybe one day we'll find out. I look at it like this: when I die, I'll find my answers of what's going on in the earth and what's out there in spirit world. You know what I mean? And
definitely.
That's the only way I'm going to know what's going on in this world right now.
What if you get sucked into a black hole, Sean?
That'll never happen, brother. That'll never happen. If I do, then God only knows where that black hole takes me. You know what I mean? So
to a source of implosion.
Then I die. Then my electrodes are all over the universe. And I'm not being funny on you on that, Barry. I'm just saying. See, I don't know. I don't. And that's what I enjoy about me, my life, is that I'm not worried about what's going to happen to me. Okay, I'm not. And
it's because you're Sean Kelly.
Here we go.
Well, I think the only reason, if you have to watch your back, then you're not living right.
Right. Exactly.
It's better to live on your feet than live on your knees.
Something
like that.
Living on your knees or being on your knees?
It's better to live to stand on to live on your feet than live on your knees. In other words, you're being brave. You're facing the world, and instead of being submissive and
okay. Yeah. Okay. Thanks for explaining that.
Better to die on your feet than live on your knees.
Oh, okay.
You might have a hard time getting up too, Sean. If you're
I would.
If you're down there,
you
might be stuck down there.
Pounds. I'm happy. I lost 10 pounds.
So, did you go to the bathroom or what?
How'd you lose 10 pounds, Sean?
How did I do? To be honest with you, Jenny, I'm taking antidepressant medicine right now,
and it's making you lose weight. What do you?
Yeah, because I'm not eating that much. I'm not stressed out. I'm not stressed. I'm not eating as much as I used to, and I'm okay with it. I feel a lot better taking them because I needed them.
The only ones I know that makes you lose weight is that Wellbutrin.
That don't work. I tried that. Never worked. Never worked.
I can't take drugs.
But right now, to me, that's what's making my life.
Well, that's good if it's working for you.
It is.
I ground. I put my feet in the earth and I suck up all the energy from the earth. Put my feet on the trees. Actually, I got grounding shoes that you can wear them outside. You don't have to go barefoot I have a grounding mat that I sleep with.
Do you have one of those copper bracelets?
No, I just have the mat, and I put the mat's under my bed, and I put it by my feet, and I put my feet on it when I go to bed. The only thing is when it's storming out, I get scared, so I have to take it out of the socket because I don't want to get electrocuted. Right?
Get hit by lightning.
Grounded. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just I appreciate you being on the show there, Barry.
I appreciate
Barry.
Yeah, Barry. Thanks for coming. It was interesting to hear.
Do you have anything else you're working on?
Yeah, the science of telepathy and how telepathy works. That book's coming out, and I explained the science of it and the scientific workings of it.
So you should. Have you ever researched or looked into hypnotherapy?
Never.
That's actually, and it was just by fluke that I got into that. But when all of that started happening with telepathy with me, 4 or 5 years ago, and I didn't completely understand it a lot, but I became a certified clinical hypnotherapist. Not the stage hypnotherapy, where you see them do like tricks and stuff, the clinical. So that's something you might consider. It taught me a lot about, mind control and things like that, and how to protect yourself from that as well.
It's not to hypnotize you and get control of you and tell you what to do.
No, not that's the stage.
I'm sorry.
That's the stage hypnosis.
It just sounds like hypnotherapy is.
Maybe that's what they do via commercials and things like that. Yes. But the actual clinical hypnotherapy is tapping into your higher conscience, which would be telepathy and using that, to communicate not only with yourself, but with others as well. So it's really interesting. And it actually helped me understand what was going on as far as telepathy so much more on a broader scale.
They probably got some knowledge for me to share.
What's that?
They probably have some knowledge for me to share. Yeah. Some information. Someone wrote a book. Someone did something.
Yeah.
On this topic and what has some stuff to share. So you're right. Hypnotherapy might be something, a perspective that, because there's so few writing about this kind of stuff. It's so hard to talk with the mind control that happens. It's so hard to write about it, so hard to talk about it. And so if someone did something with hypnotherapy, that's cool. I mean, I'm glad there's some information out there.
Yes. And like I said, I don't believe in coincidences, but I happened to, maybe it was that a message came to me that said that I needed to go take this class and get but at the time I thought I was getting certified in that to help other people, but it ended up helping me immensely. So it's something that might help you as well. But I'm glad that there's people out there like you that do, when it is hard, and other people who don't see other dimensions and things like that. It's very hard to describe or explain telepathy or anything like that. I mean, and even a lot of psychic abilities, because it's not believable until you actually experience it, I guess. So I was the same way before half my life. So
yeah. Well, the first half was very difficult trying to figure things out.
Yeah.
And now that I know the path, I'm just walking the path.
For somebody who would like to develop their telepathy, do you have any suggestions for them?
Realize not all the thoughts in your head are yours.
That makes sense.
Question everything, even yourself.
And keep it to yourself, because psychiatry is going to say hearing voices is an illness.
Is schizophrenic, yeah.
Yeah.
Were you ever worried that could be something that was wrong, that could be causing it?
Say it again?
Were you ever worried that maybe the thoughts were something like a schizophrenic might be experiencing?
No. No. I had my bout with psychiatry. That's because I had a big mouth.
Okay. Yeah.
It just tell them what they want to hear. And you're not a threat to yourself or others. You're eating, sleeping fine, and you know, in Canada it's bad. Psychiatry is really bad.
Really?
America, it's like you can't afford the health care, so they're not going to take you down the psychiatric path.
Has anybody ever tried to give you the 302?
What's that?
Oh, never mind then.
That's a 302. A 302 here in Pennsylvania, in Pittsburgh. If somebody thinks that you need help, they can put you in a mental hospital for 3 days. But that was back then. Now the rule has changed, because if, say, like I decide to 302 you in a hospital here in Pittsburgh, then you have the right now to just knock that. Or once you get signed in, you can sign yourself back out again.
Really?
Yeah. So that's what a 302 is here.
Yeah.
No, and we're not saying that you're psychotic, dude. You know, we're not saying you're psychotic, all right? I'm just saying, you know, that was a good question by Jason about that.
No, it's dangerous to talk about telepathy, because psychiatry has to change their mindset on all hearing voices is illness. And if in America, it's like you can talk about telepathy and just, it's freedom of speech. You can talk. But if someone says in America, you know, it's mental illness, it's like there's a whole different fight about it. You know, people will defend themselves, because the cost of healthcare, you better be sure someone's mentally ill. You can't just say these things, you know. Whereas in Canada, it's like anybody can say it at any time. And it's a means of oppression by the Illuminati, because not all hearing voices is illness. You know, it's when you're so beat up by the telepathic voices that your brain is scattered and you can't form coherent thought and you can't function anymore.
You can't function because there's all these voices and all these.
Could you not block that? Could you not learn to block those voices?
Yeah, with conscience. That's how it works. You just think of your conscience, and they pop and they go away and they die. Or you turn on the fireplace. You know.
What happens when you turn the fireplace on?
Well, then the electrons of Mother Earth, and then the forest, and the fire is really electrically charged, like high excited electrons, and it's basically conscience coming out of the wood, and it repels evil. I mean, the natives used fire to chase away evil spirits all the time. There's no joke about that.
Halloween or Samhain is one of the fire festivals for that reason. They would light a bonfire in town to protect the village from evil during the harvest. And but you can use any of the elements kind of in the similar manner. You know, when anything like that becomes kind of a ritual. If you take a shower, the water, it's the same thing. You know,
water can be pretty holy.
The negative energy, because there's negative and positive ions in water as well. So
yeah.
So wasn't that a thing back with the pumpkins? Someone put a pumpkin out that was to keep evil spirits away, right?
Yes, that actually originated with jack-o'-lanterns. Started with the Celts as they were carved in radishes, hung by strings on a stick, and they had a piece of coal in them. And then it became easier to light, to carve pumpkins and put them on their, on their doorstep, because
make some pie,
scare off the evil spirits.
But again, thank you for being on the show there, Barry.
Yeah, Barry, thank you so much for being on the show tonight. Where can someone get a hold of you if they want to talk more about this?
Well, I've got my my website at barryaubinauthor.com, and there's a contact form on there. And my books are available on Amazon, and I'm on Facebook. And just get a hold of me at barryaubinauthor.com or Barry Aubin Author at Facebook.
It was very enlightening, and thank you so much for joining
thank you,
us
Barry.
tonight.
Yes, thank you, Barry, for being on.
Have a great night.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Oh, that was fun.
That was really interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah, it was very interesting. I don't agree with him with all the stuff about the Illuminati, because I think I still believe it's a secret society, and I don't think they talk to, in my head, at least I haven't heard anybody, is speaking to telepathically, but I could be wrong. I mean, I've done a lot of research on them, and I still believe that they're behind the New World Order, and they have the sign on top of the dollar bill, with the eye and all that.
The eye of
Yeah,
cords.
I think. Yeah, I just think they're a very elite group of people that are the shadow government, and they're controlling the shots right now, probably.
Yeah, I just can't see them like picking somebody out as far as like astral projection. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me.
I will have to look it up, but it was a few months ago. I was painting, and of course my TV turned on, and a show came on regarding the American CIA. Well, I guess American branch of the CIA, and performing all of these mind control experiments.
MK Ultra.
And it was just in the last few years that these Canadian residents were able to sue the American government for this damage that it did.
They've been doing that mind control thing. We did a show on it, huh, guys?
Yeah,
on
we
MK
did.
Ultra.
Yeah.
They've been doing that for a while, and I think they're still doing it.
I wouldn't doubt it. They're still doing it. I mean, in fact, they're probably coming up with more ways in order for them to control our minds.
Wasn't there like a long time ago a program or something on about how during TV shows or commercials there's like subliminal messages that we can't see?
Yeah, I remember that.
But our apparently your brain picks them up. Like when you go to the movies, they'd hide in there like some like popcorn or something. The next thing you know, everyone's like, "Oh, I want some popcorn." Something crazy. I don't know.
Well, they're doing it right now with the vaccine mandates. They're using mind control. They're using control over to tell people that either you get the vaccine or you lose your job. And this is really happening, and it's happening in real time. And you guys, people out there that just sit back and let it happen, it's going to destroy America, because one of our most rights is our body, and telling us that we have to put an experimental drug in our body or you're going to lose your job. That is control. That is mind control with fear. And that
fear is just an illusion.
Yeah, so, it's all they're doing it, and we're just sitting back and letting it happen. And
I don't know. I've seen the vaccine work firsthand, protect a couple people.
Well, it's still you can say it works. Well, but Colonel Powell died from he got the vaccine twice.
I was going to say there's been proof that
there's no proof, Jason. There's no proof it works. Most of the people in the hospitals right now had the vaccine, They are carrying they're carrying the COVID to other people without even knowing it. Yeah, that you can't.
Well, you can still get it. It stops it from killing you.
Control. That is control. You shouldn't lose your right as a job in order to, because the government's telling you to get a vaccine. That's bullshit.
Sorry. No, I agree. I agree a lot, 100% with you, Jen. Now look at all is it the cops or something like that?
Yeah, they just walked off the job, and all firefighters just walked off the job because that you're giving up your right as a human being in order to work in the United States. It's bullshit. I'm sorry, I'm swearing, but I feel really strong that this shouldn't be happening in America. We have, whatever happened to my choice, my body crap. It's okay for you to go get an abortion and kill a baby at 12 weeks, 36 weeks, but you want to put a vaccine in my arm? You know what? They can all. That's what I said. That's control, and it's not American. It's just not right, and they can get away with it now, and people are stupid. They're letting them get away with it, and that's control. That is mind control.
At the same time, until people. Maybe that's part of our path as well. Like I said, I don't agree with it at all. And I, have the same theory, but until people stop living in fear and stop, repeating these cycles, it's going to continue happening for generations. Yeah. It'll happen in another 100 years and 100 years after that. So until enough people do something about it, then it's not going to change.
And it goes back to the Illuminati too, and it goes back to you just mind the MK Ultra, and they're still working. They're still trying to control people, and there is a secret society, and I do believe Barry on that. There is a secret society, but I'm not really sure about the telepathy thing about. It could be some kind of alien technology, maybe.
There you go. You got me into aliens now, and now everything that weird is happening out there. I think it's something to do with the aliens.
It could be,
and I'm not being funny about that. I'm being honest with you.
Yeah.
I mean, you had me hooked on aliens since we started this show a year and some months ago, and now
Georgia Tsoukalos got me hooked on aliens.
But so it's like, I don't know. It could be. I'm thinking more on the alien side now.
Yeah, I think it's more like because I believe that aliens use telepathy.
But I believe that aliens walk among us. So
if
that's the case, then they would be the Illuminati or government or whatever negative entity you want to, to control people, or clones, or it would be all of it. So
I'm just waiting for them to make glasses, where that one movie where they wore these glasses and they could see all the aliens that are walking
sort of like
on
that
there.
red pill thing. Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
You never know. That's coming next.
So who's on next week's show, Jen?
We don't have anybody yet. I have trying to get a psychic medium, so we'll just have to. You guys can do your homework. If we can't get a guest, just grab some topics, some talking points, and do some research. It's our Halloween show, so it's basically going to be about Halloween, ghosts, and all that stuff.
Speaking of Halloween, did anybody watch the new Halloween movie?
No.
I thought, I wasn't really sold on it.
No.
It just didn't do it for me, this new one. Like, I had high hopes for it because I like the Halloween series, but the new one just, I don't know. It's like they tried to film it like old school, like the 80s or whatever, but the plot was just too scattered, and that's just my opinion. But
we need a good Halloween movie.
Yeah.
Oh, not me, man. If I've learned that if I watch scary movies like that, I will manifest that in my life. I mean, and I'm not saying literally, but yeah, we've talked about this before, that certain entities and stuff will use a fear of yours to
yeah.
So if I watch one of those movies, then there's probably going to be like a ghost or demon or something that shows themselves to me in the form of Michael Myers. and scares me half to death, so I'm very careful about what I think about here.
Speaking of Halloween movies, the old ones, Lon Chaney, Bela Lugosi, to me they were the best shows out there. I mean, I would sit and watch them, and I even though they weren't as
Birds was good.
Oh my God, the Birds! Yeah. I was afraid of birds every time. I did watch that, and I couldn't go outside for a day or two.
Well, had a problem.
I got crapped on.
This time of year, the crows are like everywhere, isn't it? There's so many out there. Like if you live next to a farm, it seems like the whole landscape is all crows, black from them. They creep me out, crows.
Well, here's my theory on that.
Because the veil's the thinnest.
Yes.
So there's more spirits manifesting and which is souls and things like that. And that's what the crows and the ravens in Norse mythology are here for.
Yeah, it was like a month and a half ago. I went outside to get in my truck for work, and I heard some noise up on the roof of the house, and there was probably about 5 or 6 of them up there.
They're
just
creepy as
doing
hell.
Whatever they were doing, I don't know.
Well,
they're incredibly intelligent, though.
No, they are.
Yeah.
You know what? I found out about a month ago. I was down at a metaphysical shop in the South Side, and I asked the witch who worked there, and I asked her. I said, all I'm seeing is all these crows, and ravens and stuff like that. And Trish, this is to you. Do you think possible that there is a war and going on? And the witch told me, and she's a beautiful lady, I love her to death, that the goddess Morgana, isn't she affiliated with them?
Oh, there's a lot of depending on which cultural background you're going from. There's quite a few gods and goddesses affiliated with crows and ravens, because they're even in native culture, they're considered one of the higher spiritual animals. So. Right.
But she told me that, and I kind of honestly meditated on it, and because Morgana, I have used her in the past. All right, that's for another story on that one. But I don't use her. She helps me out whenever I have to go do things that I have to fight, demons or evil spirits. But no, I find it interesting because I just could not figure out why all these crows are following me. I remember one time the red-tailed hawk, they're real big down here where I'm at, and wherever I went, this red-tailed hawk followed me for like a mile. I was walking out in South Park, and this red-tailed hawk just followed me. And I was trying to find the message he was giving me, and just...
Hawks are usually from your ancestors.
I like watching them demolish rabbits in my yard.
But rabbits
True story.
are a good, can be a good or a bad omen, I guess.
Rabbits mean fear. There's a lot of fear in rabbits, correct?
I haven't heard
fear.
That.
Fear.
I don't know fear as much as it can be confusion, or like the saying, going down the rabbit hole. That's where in Alice in Wonderland and everything, following the rabbit, things like that. I don't know that I've ever associated them with fear. I mean, maybe. I guess it's whatever it means to you.
Right. Have you ever gotten the book Ted Andrews, Animal Speak? You have that book?
I don't think so.
I would. It's a really cool book, because when I started meditating and I started getting to the Lakota Sioux shaman, spirituality, I got that book. It was recommended to me, and it's a book about animals, and it tells you whatever animal crosses your path, you go to this book, and it shows you the meaning why that animal is with you that day, and it's usually correct.
Oh, that's how I live my life. I mean, because there's always animals, and I'm not saying every single bird but if an animal that's out of place. If all of a sudden you see a cardinal somewhere that you wouldn't normally, or a black cat, and not to say that crows or ravens or black cats are bad in themselves. It's the symbolism of them. So a lot of people misconstrue that, and they think that those animals specifically are bad in themselves, and that has nothing to do. Or like a fox, a fox isn't a bad animal necessarily.
What did the fox say?
Deceptive people around you, or deceptive something's deceiving you in your life. That's not saying this cute little fox is the bad.
I had a black cat cross my path the other day while I was working.
And what happened? Anything?
Nope. I still had like 7 hours to go.
Right. And you know what? I walked under a couple of ladders too. And
didn't.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Did you open an umbrella in your house?
No.
Did you break a mirror?
I just walked under a ladder and I'm still alive. Nothing happened to me.
That must have been a big ladder.
You're due, brother.
Man, y'all laugh.
You're lucky I'm on antidepressant medicine.
Bring it. Send it.
But so yeah, our next show, Trish, I'm going to interview you tonight, right, Trish? We're all good with that?
Yes.
A week in a row.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
Third time's a charm.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's what I live by. So
it's third time is a charm. But yeah, so right after this show, my show, Into the Night, I'm going to have Trish on, and we're just going to talk. I'm going to interview her and just get to know her a little bit more. So
sounds good.
Hang on. Don't move. Don't leave. Just keep staying on this channel.
Stay tuned for Into the Night.
Stay tuned for Into the Night.
There you go.
Oh, okay. So this is what I was looking for in my little, magical planner here. Morgan is the Celtic goddess of fate and death for the month of September, October.
Oh, really? Ooh.
So,
wow.
You probably can't see that. Oh, wait a
Oh,
minute.
wow.
What's her name? Morgan DeFay?
Wrong side.
Morgana Le Fay.
Yes.
Did you say DeFeo, Jenny?
I like that. That's a cool book.
She's got a crow on her shoulder. So
Isn't that wasn't that Merlin's nemesis? No, wait.
Summon Morgan by unleashing your fiercest battle cry 3 times.
Yeah. Now, I think Morgana, she's like the goddess of the underworld. Correct me if I'm wrong, Trish. But she also helps. She helps.
Well, Hecate is also the goddess of the underworld. So
I call her Hecate. That's the way I look at it. We should have a show on this. You know that, Jenny.
Okay, you go ahead and
we should
go ahead and plan it.
I will. I mean, I think it would be interesting.
Oh boy.
I mean, actually, that's part of my new. It's going to be my new. After I kind of restructured my personal blog and vlog, is explaining a lot of these beliefs in mythology and elements and things like that people don't really understand, and how to use them and how they correspond with our everyday lives.
That would be awesome. I'm looking forward to that blog that you're putting out. That'd be great. So Jenny, how are you feeling now? You're looking good.
Right now?
Yeah, you're not yawning.
I just did. You didn't see it.
There's energy shots in her coffee.
I drank 2. My
Coke Zeros.
Did
it work?
No.
Did it work?
There's not enough caffeine in them. That's why.
No. I'll probably be up the rest of the night. What I do is I'll go to bed. I'll get ready for bed and I'll sit and I'll watch TikTok videos for like 2 hours.
I love them. They're
funny.
Yes, they are. I mean, one time I started it, and like an hour and a half later, I realized I was watching. It just seemed like I just started watching TikTok.
There was one about. I still don't understand it. It was this woman. This guy goes, "I'm going to sneak up on my wife and scare her," and he goes into her room, and she's dressed up like a catfish. I didn't get it. I did not understand it. I wish I could find it.
I'm going to start doing some TikToks. I enjoy doing that.
You're going to start doing dances and stuff, Sean?
I'm thinking about it, doing my ghost.
This one was weird as hell.
Chicken dance. Do the chicken dance.
Nah.
TikTok, will you? Come on.
No. You know what? I might just do that, dude.
You should grow your beard out a little bit, and we can be like Kris Kringle does the chicken dance.
Yeah.
Here, I'm going to play it right now because it's like I hope you can see
Sean talks.
No, this is the one about the catfish. Tell me what the heck does it mean?
Okay, I'm home early. There's a show called Catfish.
Right. What?
What the fuck? Oops. Oh, Jenny, you just got us booted off.
You got us booted.
Wait, look.
Oh my God.
Is that an OnlyFans?
Yeah.
It's like 2 million people watching.
Okay. What was that? What was it? I don't understand.
I don't understand either.
That is today's society.
She's dressed up like a catfish.
That's when someone's not who they say they are on social media.
Is that what that was? She was dressed up like a catfish, but her face was ridiculous. I don't understand it. It really messed me up.
I think that's the point of a catfish.
I must have watched it like 4 or 5 times because I was like, "What the hell is catfish?" It was like, what?
It's all about the views.
There's just so many stupid ones.
Blah blah blah.
Wow. I don't know. It was a good show tonight. It was a good show.
Interesting. Yeah.
It was interesting.
It was Torture Tuesday, Boots.
Yes,
okay,
it was.
Tuesday.
And Augie, yeah, you're going to be rich with all our swear. Yeah, get a swear jar. And we'll
that's just coming from the top left corner. Jenny Nicasia's corner tonight.
She said the F word, so that's another $10 for her.
You just got us canceled.
No, that was the TikTok. I didn't say it.
But
no, that was
played
it.
What the Jenny?
No, it wasn't me. Hey, I listened to them all swear. They haven't kicked them off yet.
I don't think. Well, our show's too good to be kicked off, man. They be losing.
You better knock on wood, there, Pat.
Yeah.
You just put us in the toilet
Sean Kelly
and flushed the handle.
No, I didn't. Hell no.
Oh.
No.
What did you just say? What did Sean say?
What did I say?
I don't know.
Our show was good.
Too good. He said we're too good.
That was interesting. Very interesting.
That's a curse. Knock on wood.
Knock on wood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was an interesting show.
I think it's time to say goodnight,
considering
Gracie.
the moon is like orange right now.
It's the Hunters or the Blood Moon. October.
Moon. Yeah, we're gonna. I was supposed to get. I'm gonna try to get a couple psychics. No one wants to be on the show next week. I thought we'll just where we are dressing up. I hate to tell you guys have to dress up.
I got my outfit.
I have mine. I'm dressing up.
Ooh.
Dress up, Trish.
Oh,
no. Jason.
Yes.
Dress up, buddy.
Yeah.
I am dressed.
I'm gonna try to get a psychic. If not, we can just pretend.
Use telepathy and contact one.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna do that right now. Okay, I talked to 2 of them.
How about Carol?
I tried to get Carol on. She can't make it. There was Jory Keller. I can't get a hold of her. I don't know what happened to her. She do another alien show. Okay, Boots. Would you like to be on the show? Are you an alien? It's no comment there. Yeah, there is a full moon, and we can do an alien show. We can try to see if we can get that one person back to act. Remember that one, the Star People?
Oh God, yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh, was she?
She was so mad because she didn't understand. What do you mean you don't know what a star child is or star people? Wasn't it Star Seeds or something? I forget.
I don't know. Yeah, that was a crazy show.
We had a couple to get Alan Wright back on the show.
Oh, that's too soon. Way too soon.
Well,
so bad. He won't come back.
Dave show, we got like almost 250,000 downloads on that. So people like to hear about.
Yeah, hey, yeah, bring them on. I'm on antidepressant pills.
Well, I am. If you get the chance to go out to Murraysville, Pennsylvania, at the Calvary Church, Lutheran Church, I'm in an art show, and you guys can all come and vote for the popular one of my paintings. That would be cool.
Oh, can we vote online?
No, you have to go in person.
Oh, okay.
I'm excited. We haven't had it for 2 years, so I'm excited.
Yeah,
and PPS, we're going to be down at DeMarco's down in Uniontown.
Oh, that's right. The Ghost
Walk, yeah.
The Ghost Walk, yeah. Jenny, honest to God, you should go down. Take your son to drive down with you.
Okay, you hear my sons are in the audience, please take me.
You would enjoy it. You just walk through the town of Uniontown, and our last stop is DeMarco's, and we'll be holding little mini investigations there at the restaurant. So it's pretty good.
You should.
Friday and Saturday.
Hopefully it'll be haunted for you. Maybe we'll get a really bad ghost that'll kick Jason in the rear end.
It is time to say goodnight, Gracie.
It's time to go to bed. So I got to end this, and
we're gonna turn
Sean,
into
look out for
pumpkins.
your StreamYard's link.
In the messenger. Okay.
Okie dokie pokies. Well, thank you all for joining us tonight. Thank you for being with us on this wonderful Torture Tuesday.
Yes,
Torture Tuesday.
And
thank you.
I gotta find our ending. Just give me a whole second.
Set your intentions with the full moon.
Definitely.
The gremlins are real.